Okay, YouTubers, I'm going to be slowly explaining everything after I scroll down to the bottom of the comments. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to go ahead and explain in this whole conversation was that can everybody in the Mortal Kombat universe scale to omnipotence? Can they expand their power to omnipotence? And what Ed Rowe was literally saying in the comic section was like they can't scale to omnipotence, right? So the thing about this is that if a character can scale to a city level destruction, right? If he could scale to a city level, if he could scale to a wow, state level, if he could scale to a country level, if he could scale to destroying an entire galaxy, then go to scaling to an entire universe, that means that that character can literally scan to omnipotence, right? That means that person can literally scan because if he can scale to expand his power to one scale of power, he can literally scale to uh to the second layer of power, the third layer of power. So basically in the Dragon Ball, well no, in Mortal Kombat X, Raiden chosen, well, actually in Mortal Kombat lore, period. Raiden came to Johnny Cage and picked Johnny Cage because he comes from a race of warriors that is literally able to fight beings that are, you know, stronger than him. So in this case, Johnny Cage was literally made to fight other superhumans. Like Johnny Cage will literally be strong enough to even fight Captain America in a hand-to-hand combat. He's that strong. Why? Because everybody in the MKU is literally strong enough to punch your head off. Right? They can literally punch your head off, freaking throw you against a brick wall. They could break obstacles, a lot of stuff. These guys are literally strong to actually fight other superhumans. This even pretty much even goes to Kung Lao. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, in the MKU, you may as well say that all of these fighters have the ability to fight other superhumans. So, like, what he's saying is that if they could scale to omnipotence, then that means everybody will have unlimited power. Okay? So, having unlimited power means that everybody in the MKU will be fighting on a scale of unlimited power. So that power will be beyond the universe, I can assume, but having all power to do anything. So it'll be wherever that power starts at. That's what level of power they fight at. But he was saying that it's impossible. So Ed Boon or somebody in the Mortal Kombat must have said, okay, everybody in Mortal Kombat is below the tier of destroying an entire neighborhood. You got some characters that can, like Kentaro, jump very high in the air and thump the ground and like put a small crater in it or something, or break the asphalt. And you pretty much have Jax, who is literally strong enough to punch the ground and quake the ground. So if you could literally imagine that, what if Jax scaled to the city level tier? If he punched the ground, he would destroy the entire city. Okay? He would literally put the whole city under the ground. If Jax scaled to the city level, if Jax scaled to the state level, he will punch a giant hole at in the state. Like, he would literally punch the ground and like put this entire state under there. If Jax literally scaled to continental destruction, then that means his fist, his punches would like literally shake the entire continent. Like, even with, he'd be strong enough to fight other beings like city level Superman, who could pick up a whole city. So that means if he was continental level, like freaking Jax would almost be like the Hulk, who is strong enough to like bust up well, that's World Breaker Hulk. But I'm just saying that, he'd just be strong enough to fight other beings who could pick up an entire continent. So yeah, if he was continental, if he could destroy a whole continent, right? Then Jax would be strong enough to fight a being who could pick up just a normal, basic, superhuman being who could pick up an entire continent. Now, if he goes planetary, if Jax scales to planetary, then he has the power to fight one individual who can pretty much blow up an entire planet with their punches. So this means he would literally have the ability to fight other beings that can literally destroy planets. And if he scaled to the solar system, then he could fight other beings, at the, strength and size of the entire solar system. Okay? So this is pretty much how the power tiering works in the MKU. So if Jax was to tap into unlimited power, then whatever unlimited power he goes to, that's the power he's going to have. So let's just say Jax stopped to planetary, right? And he tapped into unlimited power. Then he's going to only have unlimited power at planetary. So that means he'd destroy a bunch of planets, but somebody that is literally galaxy level would literally beat him. Okay? And this is the actual tier in the MKU. This was explained how everybody was able to like fight different, beings. Like, this is explains why Cassie Cage was able to fight Shinnok and literally stand toe to toe and fight him, because that aura that was in her literally automatically scaled her to that level of power. She had care for her family or what was happening to her dad, and this power gave her the ability and every accessibility to fight Shinnok and just and just beat him, mop the floor with Shinnok. So this basically tells you that if Cassie Cage could do this, then pretty much anybody in the well, anybody in the Mortal Kombat universe can like basically train and scale their power. If Nitara wanted to literally bench press an entire planet, then she's gonna have to basically train her power, right? And exercise her power with you know what, test your might to break something, to like break something and pick up something that is equal to the strength of the earth, the mass and the strength of the earth. So if she basically exercised or trained her power to breaking something that equal with the mass that was equivalent to the mass of the planet Earth, she would literally bench press the whole planet Earth. And that means she would be capable of fighting other beings who also has the power to bench press the Earth. You know, you see what I'm saying? So she would have that power on top of what she normally had when she was below neighborhood level destruction. And neighborhood is just the smallest it gets in the Mortal Kombat tier, because you got people that like Shang Tsung can like send a shockwave. Well, not Shang Tsung, Ermac can like literally pick up freaking houses and flip cars over and stuff. So that's more like a, they could tear up an entire neighborhood, especially if it's a small neighborhood. But uh, this basically goes to show you that Liu Kang and everybody in the MK universe is able to like break different bricks, break diamonds. In the video game of Test Your Might, it basically goes to show you that whatever they put on the test your might is the test of strength. It basically is going to show you that these characters can get stronger. It's a test of how strong they got, but in the MK lore, they use that to see the strength of the character. If this character is able to fight another superhuman that is equal to him. So if anybody was going to fight Superman in the MKU, they would literally call Raiden, who is literally already halfway near Superman. So in this case, Raiden is going to have to literally exercise his power from the planetary form all the way to the solar system. But Superman, as shown in one of the comics, all you got to do is type it up if you want to. It's shown that Superman bench press, well, not bench press, picked up the entire universe and held it on his back, rested it on his shoulders for at least 3 days, and he put it down and rest. But it was also shown that Superman had press lift the entire planet for 5 days, right, without breaking a sweat. So I'll just say that Superman picked up the whole universe. So that means Raiden is going to have to train his power throughout the entire universe. So by the time he exercises and train his power and do a test your might, that basically, and they always do that, that finds something that is equivalent to the strength of the universe, okay, and that has the size of the universe. And if, you know, Raiden breaks it, he's able to fight Superman. If he doesn't breaks it, then that means he has to train more until he breaks this material that is equal to the strength of the universe. It even goes to show you that if Captain American's shield, right, is vibranium or however strong it is, right, any one of the Mortal Kombat characters will have to basically train their power, right, until they basically find something that is just as equivalent to Captain America's shield and the absorption of the vibration to it. So by the time they get to that scale of power, they'd be able to really severely damage Captain America's shield, but and possibly and even break it. But that will be impossible because it says, according to the Marvel comics, that that in order for Captain America's shield to be broken, the molecules all the way down to the subatomic level has to be rearranged. So if you apply that with that, so that means basically um, we're gonna have somebody that has speed to basically understand the concept of the shield and like have the power, like the source of their power, their energy to literally rearrange the molecules in there. Like I'll just say Ermac have to like literally rearrange the molecules in Captain America's shield and literally just only break it. And I only did that because some YouTubers would like to throw an interject and say, hey, this is what the Marvel comic says about Captain America's shield in order for that to be broken. How obvious. And it was even also shown in the Avengers end movie. I'm not a big Marvel fan, but it was shown that whatever type of steel, I don't know what it was, Thanos had us still, and he consistently was throwing his blade at Captain America's shield, and it was literally dinging up Captain America's shield and therefore breaking it. Who knows? That could have been a weak version of Captain America's shield, and it wasn't the actual strongest version of the shield. So, whatever it was, but I'm like literally getting a headache from that. But anyways, like just for the sake of Mortal Kombat universe, if they're gonna fight anybody at a scale of power, they're gonna have to basically train at that scale of power, right? And then do a test your might to see if they're strong enough to fight at that scale of power. If they can literally break something that is equivalent to Superman's, strength of him holding back, then they will literally be able to spar with Superman. Okay, so if they train with something that is more stronger than Superman, right? Okay, stronger than the universe, and they actually break it, then the Kai that the chi and the energy that flows through their body will like literally transform them to that scale of power to fight that being. This even explains in Mortal Kombat 11 at the end of everybody's story when you have Shang Tsung, when you have everybody that beat Chronica, they obtain a story of their own. So that story was literally letting you know that if these people fought people at that scale of power, this is the power they literally have. Like the their figure will literally change. So like if Luke Kane, well not Luke Kane, okay. So I'm just saying like when Scorpion fights and beats Chronica, he basically possesses the power to like even so change time, but then again he possesses the god level abilities. So when he basically fights something, well actually trains with something that is equivalent, that is even more stronger than the entire universe, right? And I believe what is stronger than the universe is the ideal of the universe. So when he trains to the ideal of the universe, um and basically breaks something that is equal to the entire universe, like it'll literally change his transformation and give him that scale of power, which basically mean if Scorpion looked like a with the yellow suit, like the fire of the Netherrealm will basically like his whole, this is the whole concept of MKU. It'll change his whole appearance and will give him a more godly look. So, for those of you who don't understand, take your time and just listen. I'm going to explain again. So, if Goku was going, not Goku, okay. So, if anybody in the MKU was going to fight Superman, they'd had like Kung Lao, he'd had to literally take a long time and train his power, right? And then do a test your might to something that is equivalent to Superman's raw power. If he basically does not break this material that is equivalent to Superman's power, then he won't ever beat Superman. This is the whole concept lore of Mortal Kombat. If you're not strong enough to break a material, right? Break a material, then you haven't unlocked your superhuman abilities. So the whole lore of Mortal Kombat was literally saying that these powers that give these people these superhuman abilities literally allows them uh, literally allows them to give the accessibility to literally expand their power and get even stronger. So Sub-Zero could go from a neighborhood destruction to a city level. He will go from freezing an entire he will go from freezing his whole refrigerator to freezing an entire backyard to freezing the whole neighborhood to freezing an entire, city, then freezing an entire state, then freezing an entire continent, to freezing an entire planet, then freezing an entire solar system, okay, then freezing an entire galaxy, then freezing an entire universe, okay. This is basically how it works. And so once he taps into, infinity, or how we call of having unlimited power, he does a test your might, right, to something that is equivalent to having that is equal, that is the strength and the speed of having unlimited power. And like if he breaks it, then it'll like basically the power in him will like literally change his appearance, and now he is accessible to having unlimited power. So Mortal Kombat 11 basically showed you when Noob Saibot defeated Kronika, he changed history, and all from what it looks like, all of the six realms was possessed with his darkness. So that story was equivalent to Noob, like literally scaling to like darkness, or whatever power he basically has, and he pretty much conquers, and like it'll like literally whatever scale he basically went to. So if he went from shredding darkness from his neighborhood, he can basically train his power to basically spreading his darkness throughout the entire city. And if you say that he can't do that, and if you have some other YouTubers out here, like, some YouTubers, not saying this guy, but it seems like this is what he's saying, but I'm going to say it that he's not saying that. I'm going to take it like that. But you have some YouTubers out here that say they can't scale their power, they can't expand their power. You know, it'd be real crazy that if he could literally do this with the city, he could basically scale his power to omnipotence. Now, what he's saying is this guy can't scale his power to omnipotence. No Mortal Kombat in the universe can't scale their power to omnipotence. But what I was saying is if he could scale his power from freezing, if Sub-Zero could scale his power from freezing every grass in his backyard to freezing an entire universe, like I said, then basically that goes to show you that he can literally scale his power to omnipotence. He can literally train his power and do a test your might to actually do a test of his strength that will prove he is able to basically like have unlimited power. So if he's able to break something or pick up something, well, actually, I'm gonna say if he's able to break something that possesses and have the ability of unlimited power, then that goes to show you that uh, Sub-Zero has unlimited power, and pretty much he'll freeze at anything, at whatever scale it goes to. But then again, let's start with Goku. He wouldn't be able to do this with Goku because compared to Goku, he will be at a lower form of having unlimited power. Yes, he could freeze an entire universe, but for the sake of speed, Goku is times that. So whenever Goku increases his power, he's always 5 times this compared to Sub-Zero, or 10 times compared to this compared to Sub-Zero. So if Sub-Zero was going to get any stronger, then he's going to have to take unlimited power to, you know, he's going to have to take his unlimited power to multiplying his power. But in order for him to do that, he's going to have to go back and train his power from, then he's going to have to take his form of being unlimited to comparing something like breaking something that is equal to Goku's strength. And by the time he does that, then he will be able to fight Goku holding back. But until Goku multiplies his power, he has to understand the ability of multiplying his power. But I believe that by Goku multiplying his power, like, it won't ever give, no matter how powerful Sub-Zero get, it may not give him ever a chance to beat, Goku, because Goku has a multiplier. So anyways, just for the sake of the conversation, that's the entire concept of the MKU. But this guy's saying that they can't be omnipotent. So since they can't expand their power to omnipotence, then neither can they expand their power from destroying an entire neighborhood all the way to destroying an entire city. So, and the reason why I say it like that is omnipotence mean that they have unlimited power. So if they can't take their power to the next level, then Ed Boon is going to have to go back and say, well, in the Mortal Kombat universe, everybody is only strong enough to fight at this level. They can't go anything past than that. Okay, so they can't surpass their limits. But then again, Shinnok was an ex-Elder God and literally had the power to pretty much destroy anything he wanted. And Cassie Cage aura basically gave her the ability to be stronger than him and literally fight him. So this was even proof that these people could basically in the MKU scale their power beyond uh, what they have. And the test your might basically confirms their strength and confirms how strong they got, and it basically tells them what level of power they are. So this was the whole concept of the MKU. For those of you who said, I want to see proof, I want to see solid evidence, if you can't hear what I'm saying, you got to stick to the lore and see. Like, I gave you some solid evidence. Look at what Cassie Cage did to Shinnok. The YouTube video is right there, okay? So, like I said, that if she could do that, then she could basically, then that power in her could basically give her the ability to even fight Superman and even pretty much fight Goku until Goku basically multiplies his power, and then her power is going to have to match Goku. Then Goku multiplies his power even more, so it makes it even more complicated for her to even keep up with him. But this thing basically gives her the ability to pretty much fight anything and anyone, right? That is way more powerful than her. So if you guys can't go with that, or you can't accept that, and you say you need more feats, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay? So this is just the video about this little conversation. I'm gonna upload another video. Producer versus Sub-Zero from a friend of mine. Okay? So stay tuned, guys. Doolah.